Principal Siyabad Ramachandra Bhagwan Ki Jai. Tonight's lesson, my friends, is taken from Sundar Kand of Sri Manas. It deals with a discussion between Sri Ram and Sri Hanuman. Hanuman was given the task of locating Mata Janki Ji. And before he left Sri Ram, he says, do what is necessary to make her comfortable. He didn't tell Hanuman what to say. He trusted Sri Hanuman. And he had that confidence in Sri Hanuman that whatever he does will redound to the benefit of Mata Janki Ji. He didn't have to tell her what to say. And that is the quality of devotee that Sri Hanuman is. So Hanuman, having gone and located her, he saw all the trials and tribulations that she was undergoing. He was deeply moved by the way she was treated by Ravan. He was disturbed and he came back. When he met Sri Ram, he says, my Lord, what kept her going was your name. She kept on repeating the name of Sri Ram all the time. Those were her watchwords. Those were the comforting lines that she could have narrated. My beloved Sri Ram. That's all she kept doing. And that's what kept her going. And he tells Sri Ram, he says, my Lord, when I was leaving, he gave me this jewelry from her hair. And she says to give that to Sri Ram. But she asked him to give this message. He says, I am devoted. That is Mata Janki Ji speaking. He says, I am devoted to your feet in thought, word and deed. Then for what offense, Lord, have you deserted me? Now those words came from the lip of Mata Janki Ji, the consort of Prabhu Sri Ram. She is saying, for what reason have you deserted me, O Lord? And when we find ourselves in a little bit of difficulty and the Lord does not respond in time when we need it, or when we think it should be given, we make a big hullabaloo. Here Mata Janki Ji is saying, why have you, forgotten me? So everything takes time, and there is always a right time. We may think that we need things immediately, but only the Lord knows exactly when that moment is. So, Tulsidas sings in Guha. Shane Nimish nimish karunanidhi jahi kalpa samapiti. Nimish means moment. So, Lord Hanuman is telling Shri Ram, he says, my beloved Shri Ram, he says each moment that she spent in Ashok Vatika, in that place where Ravan kept her, he says, O fountain of mercy, he refers to Karunanidhi, O fountain of mercy, each moment that she spent there was like an age, like a kalp, an eon. And you know, when you are absent, when you are away from home, when you are away from your immediate surroundings, you find that time takes so long. He says each moment was like a kalp. And that tells, you see, Sri Hanuman gives a very graphic exposition of the situation. He tells Sri Ram, Begi chaliya Prabhu Aniya, Bhujabal Jalad Kaladal Jeet. He says, my Lord, please set out at once, because mother is under great pressure. Go at once, my Lord, and vanquish the villainous crew. He didn't say go and see if you could vanquish them, you know. He says go and vanquish them. He knows the power and might of Sri Ram. He has that confidence. You have that power, my Lord. Go and vanquish that villainous crew by the might of your arm and bring her back. That is the confidence with which he spoke. Go, get rid of that villainous crew and bring her back. You see, he is indicating the need for immediate action, because mother is undergoing terrible pressure. So in Chaupai, Tulsidas sings, Sunisita dukha prabhu sukha ayana bhari aaye jal rajivan nayana. When Shri Ram heard of the difficulties of the sorrows that Mata Janki ji is undergoing, Tulsidas says, his lotus eyes became filled with tears. Now Sri Ram is acting the role of an ordinary man. But he's not just an ordinary man. He is Maryada Purushottam, a special man. One who transcends the limitations of the ordinary man. He was extraordinary. And he, in playing this role as a human being, he is giving the sentiments. He's expressing the same kind of sentiments as you and I would express. That's why the Lord came. And he made himself available in this form so that we can identify with him. So he's expressing the same kinds of emotions that you and I would have expressed in such a situation. So Tulsidas says, Bachana kaya mana mama gati jahi sapane bhujiya vipati ki tahi. Now he said Hanuman, he says, Hanuman, do you think that anyone who comes for refuge, who seek refuge at my feet, in thought, word and deed, he says, such a person, not even in dreams, would meet with adversities, with difficulties. But it does not guarantee that things happen immediately as we want it. The Lord knows when the time is right. So, when we are in the pursuit of spirituality, know that the results doesn't come immediately. Sometimes it is a test. As we pursue this path, it doesn't come very easily. But the person who is truly dedicated in serving this path doesn't look for result. So Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, "Oh Arjuna, just do what you have to do. Do not think of the results." He says, I am the one who dispenses that result. And when that, I know for sure that the Lord does not curry favor. He gives you exactly what you deserve. So do not look for the results. I dispense that result based upon your actions. So when you do things, just do it. But do it with greatest love and devotion at your command. Do not look for the result. He that does good to another man does also good unto himself. Whatever you do, you also do good to you. Because when you do something good, it makes you feel good. That in itself is reward. Not only in the consequence, but in the very act of doing it. In the very act of doing it. The fact that you know that you have done well makes you feel well. How would you feel if you cause pain upon another man? Does that make you feel happy? And the corollary to that, when a person, because of your efforts, he gains, he does well, how do you feel then? You are extremely happy because you made him happy. And that is what life is all about, to make others happy. Not to be selfish, but be selfless. So in Chaupai, Tulsidas sings, Jai Rama Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Prabhu Sri Hanuman makes a brilliant reply when Sri Ram says, those who would not forget me, but always think of me in thought, word and deed, they can't face adversities. Here Hanuman's reply, Kaha Hanuman te bipati prabhu soi, jab tava sumiran bajavuna hui. He says, my Lord, no one faces misfortune except when he ceases to remember you, when he ceases to call your name, when he forgets you. So let us not blame anybody. We forget the Lord. In our day-to-day activities, we do everything to satisfy everybody else, and we forget the one who gives us the energy to do that. Whatever resources you have, whether in terms of education, in strength, manpower, or whether you supervise people, there is a way to go about that. And do it not because you are given that privilege. Do it because of the love for doing it. Do it in such a way that it redounds to the benefit of all those who you greet in that situation or who work with. In other words, if you are a supervisor, do not impose that position that you have upon the people to make them feel belittled. Use it to enrich them and to make their lives better. When you would have done that, then that position serves you well. If you do that to bring down anybody, that doesn't serve you well. If you have education and you don't share that, you use it to belittle others who are not educated, that has not served you well. Because when you light a candle, do you put it under a bushel or you put it on a candlestick? Only when you put it on the candlestick, it shows lights everywhere. So when you share that knowledge, it brings joy and happiness. It removes the ignorance from people. But if you stifle that, it's a tantamount to put it under the bushel. So he's saying now, Keti ka baat Prabhu Jat Dhan ki, Ripu hi jiti Jan ki, Ripu hi jiti Ani bi Janaki. So he's saying, Hanuman is telling Sri Ram, he says, my Lord, of what account are the demons to you, O Lord? Of what account? They have nothing. What he's saying, that you can conquer them easily. He said, Ripuhi jiti anabi Janaki. You can vanquish the foe and you can bring back Janak's daughter. That is Mata Janaki. So he has that conviction and he knows that is what the Lord will do. But everything, as I say, takes time. This particular lesson tells you that everything that we do, don't wait to expect the results right away. But Hanuman, he shows the crying nature of the Divine Mother. That she needs to be rescued immediately. But Sri Ram knows exactly when the time is. So in Chaupai, Tulsidas sings, Jai Rama Sri Rama, Jaya Jaya सुनो कपितो ही समान उपकारी नहीं को सुर नर मुनि तनुधारी. Listen what Shri Ram is saying. When you become a devotee of Shri Ram, actually Shri Ram becomes your slave. When you are that type of devotee who excels in your spirituality, listen what he says. Sunu kapito hi saman upakara. Listen, Hanuman. He said, Sur refers to the gods, Nar, man, and Muni, the sages. He's saying, Hanuman, he says, no god, no man, or no sage that has ever been born into this world has been such a benefactor to me as you are. No devotee has been such a benefactor to Prabhu Shri Ram as you have been, Hanuman. Who is a benefactor? Benefactor comes from two Latin words. Bene means well. Factor comes from the word facio, means I do. So I do well, or to do well, to do good. It says, of all these devotees, you have performed such good deeds on my behalf that I am extremely pleased. And as such, you have put me under great obligation. I am obligated to you for what you have done. When people do things for us, we must always be very thankful and appreciative of that. And sometimes you cannot repay. What our parents have done for us, you could never, ever repay them. Always be ever grateful to your parents. And to all those who have done well for you, don't ever forget that, no matter how small that would have been. But at the particular time in which that was done, you cannot recapture that. You cannot repeat that particular moment. So he's saying, he's asking, Prati upakara karo ka tora sanmukha hoina sakata manamura. It says, Hanuman, what service can I do in return for you? You know, when somebody does something well for you, you want to return that favor. So he's asking Hanuman, tell me Hanuman, what service can I do to repay what you have done? And he says, Sanmukha hoina sakata manamura. He says, when I think of it, Hanuman, I know I cannot repay you. I'm eternal debtor to you for what you have done. And as such, when I look you in the face, I don't know what to tell you. How can I look you in the face and say thank you? I know within myself that saying thanks cannot fully repay that favor that you have done. And whose lips is that coming from? Prabhu Shri Ram. And that is the nature of our beloved Shri Ram. He recognizes all that you do for him, all that you do in service to him. And such a devotee finds a special place in the heart of the divine when you are that kind of devotee. And Shri Ram expresses that in simple, profound words. What can I do to repay you, Hanuman? What can I do? He says, when I think of it, I can't look you in the face and tell you thanks, because I know full well that cannot fully repay. And in Chaupai he sings, Sunu sutato hi urin mainai dekhe ukari bichare manamai. Sunusut refers to Hanuman as son. Sri Ram is speaking. He says, my son, when I reflect upon what you have done, he says, dekhe ukari bichare manamai. When I deeply reflected on what you have done, my son, he says, I have come to the conclusion that I cannot ever repay you. So great is the service that you have done me that I cannot ever repay you. Sri Ram is saying that. And you know, we bypass people who have done so much for us. We are so ungrateful for the mercies that others have extended on our behalf. Always be grateful. Always remember the good that people have done for you. Don't turn your back on them. Puni puni kapihi chitava surtrata lochana nir pulak atigata. Surtrata